Alright, these are going to be my ranking of all 38 Pixar shorts. I decided my list of the shorts based off of what was on Disney Plus's category for Pixar shorts. So if there's other things that like Wikipedia says otherwise and you want to argue about it, don't argue with me, argue with Disney and their streaming service. Because I picked off of their list because that felt like the most unbiased option and it was the easiest just so I could see all of them and watch them all in a row. But let's get started here now with number 38, The Legend of Mordu. The Legend of Mordu is like a backstory of Brave. Mordu is like the main villain of Brave, so it gives some of the backstory narrated by the witch. It was released on the Brave DVD, and it wasn't very good. It was one of the longer Pixar shorts, sitting at about like 8 minutes or so. Not very good. Score of 58 is what I gave it, so obviously 58 is not very good. That would be an F rating, and this was honestly an F short. It dragged a lot, right? It was kind of boring, and it just was not necessary. I did not like it pretty much at all. Next up is going to be Tin Toy. It was a little bit better. I gave it a 60. Still not very good. It was definitely shorter, only a 5-minute short. It was about a baby who chases around this toy that you can see right here. Interesting plot, I guess, but it was a horrifying baby. The baby looked awful. Now, it was made, quite a long time ago, in 1988, so it makes sense that the animation is not great, but that baby was just scary. It was frightening, to be honest. It released at a 1988 SIGGRAPH conference, which is something you're going to hear a lot throughout this video. Basically, an animation conference where they debuted and premiered this little short film, but again, it wasn't very good. Next up is going to be Luxo Jr. Luxo Jr. is very famous Pixar short, maybe not for the short itself, but for the lamp that you see here that we see in the Pixar logo, and also the Luxo Jr. ball here that we see as an Easter egg in every single Pixar movie, I believe. So it's famous, or has some famous pieces of it, but it's not really a good short, right? It's only 2 minutes long, and part of that is the credits and stuff. So it is very, very short, right? And it's just, there's no substance, there's no dialogue. It's literally just the big lamp and the small lamp are just passing this ball around for like 60 seconds, and that's the whole thing. So it's like, it's fine, but it's nothing special. There's really nothing to it, so I gave it a 66. Next up is The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. This was the first Pixar short, so it's famous for that. It wasn't that bad. There's no dialogue in this one either. It was also only about 1 minute of actual context. But I thought there was some fun character dynamics between whatever Andre's supposed to be and then this bee here, whatever animal Andre's supposed to be and this bee. Good fun, a little adventure that they go on. It was from 1984, debuted in a SIGGRAPH conference, but again, it was the first Pixar project, so it's famous for that. It wasn't very good, but it laid the foundation for what we have today, so I gave it a little bit of props and gave it a 70. Next up is Bounding. Bounding is about this little sheep that like just bounces around, and then it gets shaved off all its fur, and then it's kind of made fun of. So then the rest of the film is about overcoming the insecurities, right? Because it is the sheep is being made fun of, and it is like a fun tune that plays throughout the whole thing. But it's not very great overall. It was fine. It was enjoyable for what it was, but nothing too special. And it was also released with The Incredibles in theaters. Next up is going to be George and AJ. George and AJ is about the Shady Oak workers after Carl from Up flies away. So, like, it's just about how their life is after seeing, a house just fly away. It's like, that's kind of crazy to see, and then it follows a little bit of their life afterwards. It was fine. It was okay. It was released online on an iTunes it came with an iTunes movie purchase. So if you haven't seen this or heard of this, that's probably why. That's a very weird way to release your short. But again, overall, it wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't very good. Number 32 is going to be Lifted. I liked Lifted a little bit. I liked it a lot more on my original watch that I did like years ago, but recently when I just rewatched it, it wasn't great. It felt an alien abduction pretty much gone wrong. Like he's pressing the wrong buttons, can't get the guy out of the house. He's trying to levitate the guy and basically maneuver him out of the house, and he doesn't do it very good, right? So there's some mild funny moments in there. It's fun, it's enjoyable, but again, nothing too special, and it was released alongside Ratatouille in theaters. Number 31 is going to be One Man Band. One Man Band was pretty fun. It's obviously about a band, right? One guy's playing all the instruments, and it's kind of a musical battle between another guy who was playing all the instruments there. But it was enjoyable, right? They kind of battle over the bystander's coin, like somebody that would, give a musician a coin in their, case or whatever. But it was a beautiful music, but not much else, and it released with cars. Next up is going to be Sanjay's Super Team. This one was kind of fun, but also kind of weird. It's like a fun dream about Hindu gods being superheroes. It was a very odd plot, but it was semi-enjoyable. Right? It released alongside The Good Dinosaur, and I gave it a score of a 75.5. Next up is Your Friend the Rat, which, if you could guess, was released alongside Ratatouille. That makes sense. I give it a score of a 76. It was released on the Ratatouille DVD, and it gives some historical, mostly accurate backstory of some of the migration of the rats and the role of rats in society within the European part where this movie does take place. It's enjoyable, but it's not anything crazy. Next up is Day and Night. I thought this was cute. It's fun. It's about these two characters, Day and Night, and we can only see the world through their transparent body. So, interesting plot, interesting concept, good animation, of course. It is Pixar. It's lighthearted. It has some playful interactions, but that's really about it. It's solid, nothing too great, and it released alongside Toy Story 3. Next up is For the Birds. This was fun. It's kind of about anti-bullying because it's about like a whole bunch of small little birds sitting on the telephone wire, and then one big bird wants to come in and sit with them, but the small birds make fun of him because he can't really fit on there, at least the way that the small birds do. So it's fun, but it is kind of about anti-bullying because the bird, is being made fun of, and then he okay, and then kind of backfires on the small birds, but it's fun. It released alongside Monsters, Inc. in theaters, and I gave it a score of a 78. Next up is 26 Burrow. This was a fun story. It was a Spark short, which you're going to see a lot of Spark shorts in here, but they also qualify as Pixar shorts according to Disney Plus's app. So, it's a fun story about a bunny kind of exploring the underground life, in a burrow, right? And then it released alongside Soul. It's pretty fun. Good story, no dialogue, but it is fun and interesting to learn or to see the life that they have for all these different animals that live underground. Next up is going to be Knick Knack. Knick Knack is pretty fun. It's a story about a snow globe snowman who basically wants to get out and enjoy the outside world. It was released in 1989 at a SIGGRAPH conference, and then later released in theaters alongside Finding Nemo. It's pretty fun. It's kind of funny sometimes to see the snowman struggle so hard to get out of the snow globe. Finally gets out of it, and then, kind of just gets sucked back into the snow globe. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I gave it a 79.5. Next up is going to be Bernie, which of course released alongside WALL-E. It's about a welding robot that has mishaps due to WALL-E's pursuits of Eve. He has to fix a whole bunch of stuff because WALL-E and Eve kind of break some stuff during their little adventure. So this guy is kind of fixing all that stuff, and it released with the WALL-E DVD. Next up is going to be Partly Cloudy. I gave it a score of 80.5. It's basically about how storks deliver babies, right? The clouds make the babies, but then the stork comes along and delivers them. And it's not just human babies, it's babies of all species, which, gives us a nice little relationship between the cloud and the stork. The cloud makes all the babies of different creatures, the stork goes and delivers them, but the cloud seems to only make the dangerous animals like an eel, a porcupine, a shark, and then the stork just doesn't want to deliver all these dangerous animals, so he goes to a different cloud and then realizes that this cloud got sad, so that stork came back to this cloud. Even though the stork didn't really enjoy it, he did it because he enjoyed or liked the cloud that much. It released alongside Up pretty fittingly. Number 22 is going to be Nona. I gave it a score of an 81. It's about it's kind of a babysitting story with some emotional aspects, and it's Nona is the babysitter, I believe, and she's kind of watching WWE parody on TV, and then the child that she's babysitting kind of disrupts the TV, and she gets kind of upset because her deceased husband was the one that she used to always watch WWE with, and now she has to watch it alone, and this little girl is making it, very hard to do so, but It's a good emotional aspect with that and stuff. But then she, eventually comes to terms with like, okay, I'm gonna give this girl attention, and I don't need to watch WWE. It's not that big of a deal because this girl is actually here, and I should be with her. Next up is going to be number 21, Doug's Special Mission. This was pretty fun. It was released on the Up DVD. It gives a little bit of a Doug backstory directly before he meets Carl and Russell in the movie Up. So that's pretty fun to see kind of what exactly he was doing before he met up with them in the movie. He's kind of on an adventure with these other dogs, of course, right? And then we get to see, him leaving that group. Next up is going to be, sorry, I skipped one. Number 20 is Red's Dream, a score of an 82. Red's Dream was pretty good. It's about a unicycle, which his name is Red, I assume. He kind of dreams of being in a circus, being used by a clown. He's having a lot of fun throughout this dream. But then when he wakes up, he's kind of depressed because he's like, well, that wasn't fun. He's like, well, now I got to live my boring life of just sitting here, not being used, not being played with. So he was dreaming about being played with and being in a big old circus, and now he's not. And he's like, that's depressing. But it was still pretty fun to watch. It was released at a 1987 SIGGRAPH conference. Number 19, you already kind of saw it, but this is Auntie Edna. It is an Incredibles, world short. It was released alongside the Incredibles 2 DVD, and it's about Aunt Edna, or, I guess she's Aunt, technically not really, but she's acting like an aunt. Aunt Edna is babysitting Jack and trying to create him a suit because, of course, he has all these magical powers, superhero powers, so she's trying to figure out the best way to make a suit to accommodate for all of those powers. Number 18 is going to be our other, Incredibles short. This is from Incredibles 1 called Jack Attack. This is when, I forget her name, but the child that's babysitting Jack in the movie, this is about the story of that babysitting adventure when Jack gets all his powers and she's like so creeped out and confused. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. It gets an 83. Number 17 is going to be Presto. This is a magic act. It's pretty fun. It's about the magician and his sidekick Rabbit. His Rabbit is very much acting up. He's like, I want the carrot. And the magician's like, you're not getting the carrot till after you do the act, right? But the Rabbit just keeps messing up the act because he really wants the carrot. So there's a lot of fun stuff that goes along with that. It's pretty fun to watch. It's a good relationship between the Rabbit and the magician. It's kind of funny. And it released alongside Wally. Number 16 is going to be Jerry's Game. Jerry is also a guy that appears in multiple Pixar films, I believe, but he made his debut in the short called Jerry's Game, and it released with A Bug's Life. It's about Jerry, who plays a game of chess with himself, but the way that it's done, it's incredible. Like, you would really think he's playing against somebody real because he makes all these expressions, has all these emotions for a game that he's just playing against himself. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. I gave it an 84. Number 15 is going to be 20-something. So this is easily the most adult Pixar short. It's about a girl who turns 21, right? So when you turn 21, you do certain things, right? She went to a bar, was drinking, alcohol. Of course, they don't necessarily explicitly say, oh, I'm having alcohol, but it's like obviously very well implied, right? She's at a bar, and she gets catcalled. Like, she's getting hit on by all these dudes at the bar. It's like, it's crazy that this is a Pixar short because it feels very against what Pixar is about, but it is really, really well done short. It's about her insecurities of coming into adulthood, right? And it released on Disney Plus as a Disney Plus exclusive, and it was really, really enjoyable. Number 14 is going to be Mike's New Car. This one is really fun as well. It's, of course, an adventure with Mike and Sully when Mike gets his new car. So he's showing off his new car to Sully. He gets locked out of his car, and then when Sully is trying to open the car, a whole bunch of weird stuff happens, and then that's pretty much our short. But it is fun. Has a lot of funny moments because, of course, Mike and Sully are very fun, very funny as a duo, and it released on the Monsters, Inc. DVD. Number 13 is going to be Toy Story Tunes, Small Fry. There's a lot of Toy Story tunes just in general, but apparently this is the only one that classifies as a short. Don't ask me why, ask Disney. But it's about a fun experience with our toys, of course. They're at a fast food restaurant, in like the little ball pit thing, and then Buzz gets trapped in there, and then this little Buzz, comes back to Bonnie's house, actually, with the rest of our toys, and it's like, why is he here, not Buzz? And then, of course, our Buzz ends up coming back to the room eventually later in the episode. But it's a pretty fun adventure with our toys. Nothing too special, but again, it's Toy Story, so it's going to be enjoyable no matter what. It actually released alongside The Muppets in theaters. Number 12 is going to be Doug Day's Carl's Date. There's a whole little mini series titled Doug Days, but this one is exclusively a short, not in that series, but it's really fun. It's about Doug helping Carl get ready for a date, of course. There's a lot of hilarious moments, right, because Carl's like, I've never been on a date before, or at least not in like, not like an actual date without his wife for like 60 years or however long it's been. So he doesn't really remember how to be on a date, and then Doug's just like, well, give her a bone. Give her this, because I'm a dog and that's what I like, so maybe that's what she'll like. And he's like, okay, and then of course that's not what she's going to like because she's a human, not a dog, but we have a lot of fun moments in that, and it released alongside Elemental. Next up is going to be 22 versus Earth. I give it a score of an 86.5. I really love Soul, especially the character 22, so I'm kind of biased towards this one a little bit, so some people might have a lot lower than I do, but I really enjoyed it. It's a fun story about 22 not liking Earth, which of course she doesn't like Earth in the movie, and there is a small emotional moment because she doesn't really like that everybody else, in the Great Beyond or the Great Before, whatever it's called, everyone else that she's around, they just all leave her to go to Earth, and she's like, why do you guys want to go to Earth? It's not even that cool, but everybody she knows is leaving her, so she feels so isolated and so alone. So we do get that emotional moment. It's really fun, it's really enjoyable, and it released on Disney+. Number 10 is going to be Ciao Alberto. I think I said that right. It's about, Alberto, because of course at the end of Luca, Alberto lives with Massimo, right? While Julia and Luca go to school with Julia's mom, or I believe that's how that goes. You know what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of emotional depth in this little short because Alberto calls Massimo dad. And that's really crazy because he's not his dad. He kind of is his stepdad. He's really his boss that he's living with, and he's like 10 years old. So he's basically like his stepdad or adopted dad, and he calls him dad when they have a big like fight after Alberto keeps messing up. So, it's very emotional in that moment because if you ever, have been a stepdad or have a stepdad or anything like that, or an adopted dad or anything like that, calling someone that's not your real father dad for the first time is a very, very emotional moment for both parties, and we get to see that in this short. Number 9 is going to be Riley's First Date with a score of an 88. It's in the world of Inside Out, obviously. It was released on the Inside Out DVD, and it gives some really fun insight into both Riley's mom and dad about how they feel about Riley potentially going out on her first date with this boy, right? And it has a question mark in the title because it's not really a date, it's kind of a group hangout, but this boy is specifically picking Riley up, so it's kind of has that date feel, but it's really fun. It's really a good little short inside the world of Inside Out. Number 8 is going to be Party Central, which is really fun, right? This is set in the world of Monsters University, released with Muppets Most Wanted, and it's about Uzma Kappa, their fraternity in this in the movie, right? They're trying to steal a party because, of course, if they threw their own party, no one would come to it. But they steal some doors, and they steal all the guests, all the music, food, drinks, everything. They steal the entire party from a real party and bring it back to their house. So that's really fun, and it's really, really awesome, funny short. Number 7 is going to be Lamp Life. This was released on Disney Plus exclusively, and it gives a good backstory of Bo's life with the lamp and kind of why she left the main Toy Story group, right? Because obviously we see a little bit of that backstory in Toy Story 4 itself, but this gives us a reason why Bo specifically left her lamp when she got to the store, and then of course went out to be a lost toy in the playground and stuff like that. Number 6 is going to be Lou. I adored Lou. This entire short was amazing. I give it a score of a 91. It's a crazy fun story. It is about anti-bullying. We get a sad bully backstory in there, and then a great bully redemption arc as well. Basically, this bully at recess is stealing everybody's stuff, and then it all ends up, a lot of their stuff ends up in the lost and found, right? Or this guy just blatantly stole it, and it's in his book bag, and then all that stuff that's in the lost and found came to life, confronted the bully, made him return all this stuff, and then we get to see the bully having a little sad backstory about being bullied in his past, and then we get the great bully redemption arc because he didn't just get forced to return all this stuff. at the end he wanted to return all of his stuff. So it was really fun to see that storyline in this short. Number 5 is going to be Bao. Bao is crazy, to say the least. Right? I gave it a score of 93. That's really, really good. It's heartwarming. It's an emotional story about parenting and about empty nesting. Like the dumpling child is a metaphor to a real child who, of course, grew up and left her and moved on to his own life. But she kind of got a do-over with this dumpling that somehow came to life. But then the dumpling ended up wanting to leave her too, and she's like, I can't go through that again. I can't have my child leave me again. So what did she do? She ate her dumpling child, which is like, she just ate her child. That's like, what? It was crazy. Like, when I saw this for the first time, I was just like, what the heck am I watching? I was like, it was crazy, but it was awesome. It wasn't like, this is so stupid or so weird. It's like, yeah, it's weird, but this is also just pretty cool. It released alongside Incredibles 2 in theaters. Number 4 is going to be Lava. Lava is fun. It's a beautiful love story, and the whole short itself is just a big song sang by the two volcanoes in this short. It is a beautiful song. We have a beautiful sky background stuff. Like the animation is just brilliant, and it is a beautiful love story between this volcano who's all alone, sings his song, then the girl volcano sprouts up because she heard this guy's song. But when she sprouts up, this guy has fallen down into the ocean. So it's like, very, very emotional aspects of this as well. Beautiful love story and released alongside Inside Out. Number 3 is going to be Piper. Piper is about a sandpiper, which is a little bird, and it's kind of how they're about their adventure or their experience trying to find food on the ocean, and they kind of overcome their fear because like they're scared of every little thing about this ocean or about anything by the beach. And by the end of the film, of course, they overcome their fear and are able to, get their own food and stuff like that. But it is very, very beautiful. The way we see the story grow is amazing, and the animation is just amazing. It looks astounding. Like it is crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it was just beautiful, brilliantly done. It looks very, very realistic at times as well, which is crazy. It was awesome. Like, this is probably the best animation I've ever seen in anything ever. It was beautifully stunning. Number 2 is going to be La Luna, which also very, very beautiful, beautiful animation, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right? It's a fishing story involving the stars on the moon and how, it's very, very weird, but it's very, very fun. It's very beautiful. It's very, very visually stunning as well. But first I want to mention there's a pretty funny moment in here while they're on the moon with some of the tools that they're using, like a broom and a rake, or a broom and like a mop or something that kind of look like the facial hair of the two adults that La Luna is with, which is kind of fun. And also, one of the guys very much looks like Massimo from Luca. Not sure if that's intentional, but very much like worth pointing out. But also, again, visually stunning. Right? When you have all these yellow stars glowing and floating around them, it's very reminiscent of the Candlelight song and scene from Tangled. Right? It's just brilliantly done, beautifully animated, and it makes me feel something just because of how beautiful the animation is. I love La Luna, and I love La Luna's animation. But number 1 is going to be the Blue Umbrella. This one was crazy, right? It's not like the most beautiful animation because I've already mentioned La Luna and Piper having beautiful animation, but it is also very much up there, right? It is beautifully animated as well. And again, Pixar is just very good at animation, so obviously a lot of their stuff is very well animated. But it is a beautiful love story about this blue umbrella, of course, trying to find and meet this red umbrella. They meet when they're not really next to each other, and they try to meet up with each other, but then within the crowd of people around them and the crowd of umbrellas around them, they get separated, and then we just get to go through Blue's story of tragically, getting blown away and hitting a bunch of stuff throughout the wind. But eventually, we do get to see Blue and Red reconnected, reconciled, and come together at the end. It's really beautiful, beautiful love story. There's a lot of emotional depth in this. Also, the score is amazing. Also, they anthropomorphize everything in this thing, like the street lights, like street signs, even like a sewer gutter lid thing, whatever you want to call it, like has like a face. Everything has a face in this thing, which is It's just beautifully done. It's amazing. You should really go watch this short. You will not regret it. It was a very, very good time. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I should have something coming out relatively soon. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm working on a couple of things, so stay tuned for those. But again, let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what your ranking is in the comments below, and goodbye.